Hi everyone, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming. Hope you're having a lovely day. On this video tutorial, I'm going to show you some of the really amazing things that you can do and create with pretty napkins and a little Mod Podge. So I've been working on some projects, getting ready to go live, and oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I hope you'll stay till the end to see all the completed projects and different things that you can do. I have a bunch of ideas. So let me give you a quick little preview. These are a couple things that I've already made. You're going to say, what in the world is that? It's wine cork. Yeah, so I'm super excited. As you're hopping on, say hi, let me know where you're watching from. Hey, Patty Bell, I need your address, please. Could you text that to me? Thank you. Where was I? Say hi, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know, of course, if you have questions. And if you like this project or any of the other ones that we do here at DiyDreaming, feel free to sprinkle. I love it when you do that. So, okay, so today's project all started with some pretty napkins. I made a trip to Tuesday morning, which I always want to call Saturday morning for some reason. Anyways, I made a trip to Tuesday morning to look for some napkins because I've had no luck anywhere else finding pretty like art kind of napkins. And let me just tell you what, I don't know if your store in your area has the same stuff as mine, but wow, I could have spent $100. But I just bought 3 packages, so I spent 6 instead. Okay, this was the first one that I bought. And this, you guys, this is a beautiful napkin and it's perfect. Let's see what's up and down. It's perfect for all the kind of projects that I'm doing this summer. Isn't that gorgeous? It came in 3 different sizes, so I chose the smallest one because I wanted the images to be smaller. All right? I'm going to show you guys everything you need to know, including a trick with cling wrap that I learned from one of you guys. Thank you. That's one of my favorite things about this crafting with you guys is you guys tell me, you give me tips almost every live, and that's just making me a better crafter so I can share that with you. Here's another really pretty napkin that has a lot of great images on it. A lot. This one kind of reminds me of spring because it has all these beautiful nests. Okay, and then this one I just picked up. It's probably not my style necessarily, but it's really pretty and it's really kind of bold. What do you guys think about this one? It's got a pretty blue bird in there, some pretty flowers. It has a black background, which I think could be very interesting. So these came, again, in case you're just hopping on, they came from Tuesday morning. $2.29, $2.29, and $2.29. And they had hundreds more beautiful designs. So if you want to do some Mod Podging with napkins, you should make a trip to your Tuesday morning. Okay, I'm going to set all but this one aside. And today we're going to be using matte Mod Podge, okay? And I guess let's just jump right in. So about, I don't know, a month ago, we did this decoupage project on these oyster shells, and we used paper. It was computer paper. I bought images from somebody on Etsy. I printed those and I used those. And I have them upside down, okay? This was another example. This is just a big clamshell. Then, last week I believe it was, we experimented with stenciling on shells. And those turned out pretty cute. And one of the viewers told me, you guys, that you can get these, I think these are scallop shells. I could be wrong. that you can get these from some restaurants that, that have that as a dish. Mine came from a Goodwill store in Boise, Idaho. Okay, so let me get these out of the way. So those are some ideas, and I've been looking for pretty napkins to do some more of that. And I hit the jackpot today. But the first thing we're gonna do actually is I'm gonna show you how to make over a candle. Then I'll show you how to make over a tile so you can make some coasters. Then we'll do some seashells. And along the way, I'm gonna show you this trick using Glad cling wrap. I suppose it could be absolutely any brand, just as long as it's that like clear stuff. Okay, so I have a whole set of these candles from maybe 5 years ago, and I was doing those candle garters even way back then. I'm completely sick of this. I may at some point repaint these beautiful, these are like these little candle spears that have a sharp point on them. They were from a company that isn't in business anymore. But so I may repurpose those and do something different with them. But these are good candles, and let me see, I'm just gonna have to cut this off. I'm not gonna use it again. And I'll put my camera down, so hang on 2 secs. They were good candles, although they've gotten a little stained, and they have this hole in them where I poked a hole for that thing. But if you decoupage on them, you'll never see any of that. And this one is proof. This one turned out beautiful, I think. I may make a set of 4 of them for my mantle, because they go totally with my theme. Okay, so to get started, what you're gonna do is you're gonna clean your candle off, because it's been hanging out. It's probably got at least some dust and grime on it, you know, oils from your hands, I don't know. I'm just using an antibacterial wipe because that's what I have in here. And I'm just gonna clean, and then this part is gonna be super grungy too, because that's where all the dust settles. So I'm just cleaning it out. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to take a paper towel and, whoops, dry it off on the outside anyways. Okay, and then you're going to get a sheet, a piece of cling wrap, because that's what you're going to work on, and that's what's going to allow you to handle these. Even while I was working with this to do this candle, my finger accidentally touched while it was still wet. I want to show you the spot if I can find it. Where was it? Oh, right here. And I guess I had a little bit of Mod Podge on my fingers, and it pulled the napkin off right there. Oh well, it doesn't have to be perfect. But this makes it so much easier to work on them. I haven't said hi to anyone. Hey Susie, how are you doing? If you have a Restore Habitat for Humanity close by, you can pick up beautiful. Wow. Hey Jennifer, how are you doing? Hi Karen. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Wow, there's almost 400 people on. That's pretty amazing for a Wednesday afternoon. So I'm gonna just take a big piece of this, and I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, this stuff always gets all tangled up. Okay. This should be good. Okay, can you guys see all right? I feel like you can. Do I need to go down just a little bit lower? Hey Geraldine, hi Rosemary, hi CJ, hi Laura. Is it Laura? And you just have an unusual spelling of your name. Hey Phyllis, hi Susan, hey Brenda. How are you guys doing? Where did I get the napkins? The napkins came from Tuesday morning this week. They had a ton of beautiful ones. Okay, so we're just gonna take your candle. It can be any color. It can be, this is actually wax. although it's battery operated. But you could use an actual, you know, full-on real candle that you're gonna light. Although, if you're gonna do that, I was a lawyer before I was an at-home mommy, before I was what I am today. And so the lawyer in me always wants to give people those warnings. I wouldn't recommend doing this on a real candle that you're gonna light and then not keep a close eye on it. Because, I mean, who knows? I don't want your house to burn down. I don't think it really would, but anyways, just have to say that. Okay, so I am laying my candle on this saran wrap, and then you have to pull your napkin apart. And this is honestly the hardest part of the whole project. Oh my gosh. I don't know if there's a trick for doing that, or, if you grab it more in the center, I guess when I did it before, this is going to be 2-ply, and you only want to use the top ply of it. The other part you can wipe your hands on, assuming I can ever get these two pieces apart. Oh, for Pete's sake. Maybe I'll just cancel this Facebook Live because I can't get my napkin apart. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So you're literally just going to take the top part off. If you were going to be super precise about this, you could possibly set your iron on a really low temperature and you could iron out the folds. But I don't think that's necessary unless you're just a complete perfectionist. Hey Donna, watching from North Carolina. Hey Valerie. Hi Pat. Hey Diane. Hey, did you guys, oh, she says wet your finger. See, those are the kind of tips that I get from you guys all the time that are so helpful. Okay, one thing I want to tell you is when I put my napkin on my candle, I want it to be going up. And on most of these napkins, it's 2 directions. This is up and this is up. So I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm just going to cut a thin band at the top that will be going the wrong direction. It'll look kind of like this, and you'll never know. You'll never notice that it's upside down. So you're just going to get an idea of how tall you need to make this. And if it's too long when you're done, you can cut the excess off. These are such pretty napkins, though I don't want to waste a single bit of them. Although they were only $2, I could go get 20 more if I wanted. Okay, so I just folded it where I'm going to cut. Indiana, someone said to put a piece of tape on back and pull that. That's a great tip too. Your lives keep going in and out. It must be your internet, Christine, because I haven't heard that from anyone else, and I'm not having any internet issues here that I'm aware of anyways. One thing you could do, Christine, is you could just hop out and then try getting back in again. Or you can always watch this on replay. All my videos, I know there's some people that follow DIY Dreaming that are not technical like me. I'm not at all. And you'll say, you'll ask me questions like, how can I watch a video that I didn't see live? Well, every single video I've ever made is in my videos. And that's just a little button here at DIY Dreaming. So you guys, absolutely anytime you want, as long as the internet's a thing and Facebook doesn't, you know, change things or whatever, you can go to my videos and watch if you want. Okay. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour out a little bit of Mod Podge. And I'm using matte because that's what I have, but if you have the shiny, the glossy, feel free to use that. If you don't have this, you can make a Mod Podge. Just Google that on the internet, and I'm sure that you can find the recipe for making it with white school glue and water. Oh, hey, and I forgot to tell you guys something. Oh, thank you for sending sprinkles. I appreciate it, you guys. If the comments are driving you nuts, you can swipe to the right, I believe it is, and they'll disappear. And then you can swipe back to the left if you want them to come back. Okay, so I'm just gonna start putting, as soon as I get this on the first area, I'm gonna start holding my candle with this saran wrap. Let's start that right now. And you're just putting a thin, messy layer of it on. You don't want it too thick because these napkins are pretty thin once you take the ply off. We're not going all the way around. We're just going like maybe a third. And we'll do just a little bit at a time. Okay, so that's what it looks like. All right. This saran wrap is crazy. Okay, and we decided that we were gonna put it on this direction. So I'm just gonna start in the middle right here. And I'm gonna lay it on. Okay, I've just laid it on. And then I'm gonna take my saran wrap and I'm just gonna push it in. Whenever I touch it with my finger, if the Mod Podge comes through the napkin, then it makes your finger sticky, and then you end up pulling off part of your napkin. Okay, so that's a good start. All right, now let's put that side down. Darn. Thank you for sprinkling. I appreciate it. You usually watch the replay. You know what? Somebody told me that about 90% of the viewers of any Facebook Live are watching it on replay. So it's fun to have you live, and you can certainly still comment even if it's on replay, because I keep going back and back and back to my videos, you know, for a few weeks to answer questions, to say hi to people so that they don't think I'm ignoring them. So you can totally do that. Comment on a video even if it's not live. Okay, so I just did a little bit more. I need some more saran wrap. It would be easier just to have some. Somebody told me also this, you know, this might solve the problem. And maybe somebody said it already in the comments, I don't know. Somebody told me once that if you put your hand in a plastic bag, that'll work. Do you see what I'm doing here though? I'm just pushing the napkin into the paper. It looks like it's getting a little bit crooked, but that does not matter. You're never gonna notice that. Okay, so let's go to where we don't have any Mod Podge yet. And the width of this napkin was just a little bit too long for how round the tummy is on this candle. So I just cut a teeny little bit off of one side. Yep, I can see that I'm going a little bit crooked, but it doesn't matter. This is not as epic of a fail as the one that I had on my on my live last Sunday. Okay, so see, this is just, whoops, it's gonna be a little bit too big. So I'm holding my candle with my saran wrap so I don't pull the candle off, or the napkin off. And I'm just gonna trim a teeny bit of this. It can overlap a little bit. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is you're just rubbing the napkin into the Mod Podge on the candle. And I did not do a very good job cutting that, can you see? But it doesn't matter. When it's all completely dry, it'll be super easy to trim it off. Okay, so once you have your napkin completely Mod Podged onto your candle, then you just want to, I got started and then I kind of let it dry a little bit, but let's start at the fold. Where is that? Or the seam, where is that? Right here. I just want to make sure I get that down good. And you want to make sure, I'm just using a cheapo foam brush. I think this is one of the ones that my son bought me for Mother's Day. He bought me a whole bunch of art supplies because he knows that I love that kind of stuff. Anyways, so I'm just putting a little bit of the Mod Podge on. I'm not pressing down super hard because this is still kind of on the fragile side and I don't want to tear it. And I'm also not putting it on super thick. I'll show you in just a second. Oops, see, I went the wrong direction. Oh, darn. With that fold. Oh, well. You can actually lay your saran wrap on the wet part if you want to push it in. So let me pick it up. You can see that's what we have so far. So I'm going to just set this aside and let it dry a little bit, and we'll go on to another project. All right, let's do one of these tiles next. These are, what are they called? Tumbled stone tiles that are in our kitchen. And when we had our kitchen remodeled like 10 years ago, they left what was left and it's been sitting out in the garage forever. So slowly but surely I've been using it for different projects. They make great coasters. I think this is the top. Okay, so you just want to clean it off a little bit. Sometimes they're kind of gritty. You can buy these at, let's see, I saw these at Home Depot in the tiling section, and they were, I think you could buy like a container of 9 of them for like $3. So they're super affordable, or maybe you have something like this hanging out at home. And I am just going to do basically the same thing. First of all, we're going to use what's left over on our napkin. And we're going to eyeball it to see where do we want to cut it. So it's about the right size. And if it's too big or just a little bit too small, that doesn't matter. Can you guys see? My favorite part of these napkins is this coral, this blue coral. It's beautiful. Okay, just a little bit more off of this side. So we still have this left, which we'll use on something else in just a minute. Okay, so we need to have a little more Mod Podge. I'm gonna have to go buy some more soon because I've been using it a lot lately. And we're gonna put a thin coat on top of our little coaster here. Well, our coaster to be. Then we're just going to lay our napkin on there and get another piece of cling wrap or saran wrap or whatever you want to call this stuff. And I'm just going to lay that on the top, and I'm literally just pushing. Can you guys see that? I'm just pushing the napkin into the grooves on the front. Deborah says lovely. You can find what at Dollar Tree? The napkins? Is that what you're asking about or answering? I have looked at Dollar Tree, and honestly, they do have some cute kind of seasonal ones, but I was looking for something that was more like artsy, you know, like this idea. And I was not finding that anywhere. I looked at Target. I mean, I looked at some of the home decor shops. Okay, so now I'm going to take some more of the Mod Podge. I'm just going to put it on. You kind of want to almost push it down rather than pull too hard, bringing it across, because you don't want to lift it up or tear it. It's still pretty darn fragile. And then I'm going to get the sides really well. So there's so many things that you could do this exact idea to. You could do it to a piece of wood for a sign or a tray or something. We're gonna put it on some seashells. I'm gonna show you this idea of making some bowl fillers out of wine corks. I mean, there's tons of different things that you can do. And I'm gonna put my thing on it one more time just to push everything in. And then we'll set it aside. And I'm just kind of pressing the edges down. I don't want to touch it. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's come back to the one that I did before we got started. This has had, is it upside down? Yeah. This has had the coat underneath of Mod Podge, the napkin, and then one coat on top. If I'm gonna actually use these with glasses that might sweat or get moisture on them, I would consider finding that Mod Podge that's waterproof, or I would put multiple layers of Mod Podge on, or I would at the last minute do some kind of either a brush sealer or a spray sealer. Okay, but you can't set this on a table. Oh my gosh, you would totally scratch your table up right now. So I picked these up at Dollar Tree a couple weeks ago. And I bought these for some chairs in the kitchen and stuff in the past at the hardware store, and they're expensive. So when I saw these at Dollar Tree, and they don't have the teeny tiny ones, but we're gonna just make do with what we have. Do you put, oops. Do I what? I got my elbow in it. Okay, I missed that question. I'm so sorry. Let's just get the Mod Podge off my elbow. Okay, so I'm gonna make do with what I have. If I had the even smaller little tiny dot ones, I would use those. But this is gonna work just fine. And they have these little things that you can pull off the back that are adhesive. I'm just gonna put 4 pieces on. And you get 60 pieces for $1. So that means they're 6 cents a piece, where they seem kind of expensive to me when you buy them at the hardware store. You can also get those little plastic ones that make things not scoot around. But this is what we're using because this is what we have. All right, there's the front, and here's the back, and here it is. Not gonna scratch at my table or ruin anything. If you're giving these as a gift to somebody, do be sure that you put something on the back, because it would be such a bummer for the person that you gave it to come back and say, oh, you know, that ruined my table or whatever. Okay, I'm not gonna actually do the wine cork, but I'm gonna tell you how I did it because it was so easy. I just used the saran wrap, I painted the Mod Podge on, I took my little piece of napkin, pushed it on, put another layer of Mod Podge, and these would be cute to fill a bowl. They'd also be cute if you put holes in them and you could make a garland or something out of that. I picked this piece because it had that anchor, and you guys know that I love anchors. That's too cute. Thank you for sprinkling. I appreciate that. Or cut felt and glue that on the back. See, you guys are so good. Use that non-skid shelf liner too. Yeah, there's tons of options. Oh my gosh, I love the stuff you guys share with me. It's so helpful. Okay, let's get another napkin, and we're gonna do an oyster shell now. And I do want to show you one tip with that. Some of the stuff on the floor so we have room. Okay, this is what oyster shells look like in reality. I ordered these on Amazon, you guys, last year. They have this big spot on them. And with thin paper napkins, it usually kind of shows through. So what I'll do is I'll paint it with white chalk paint, white acrylic paint, something white like this one, before I Mod Podge on it so that you don't see that big dark blob in the center. Okay, somebody said to get your finger wet. We'll see. Like I said, this is the hardest part of the whole project. Oh my word, you guys probably think I'm so silly or slow or something that I can't get these pieces apart. I don't have my glasses on either, so I can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Dun, da, da. Now, for the oyster shell, where did I put it? It's right here. I just need to decide what image do I want to have in the center of it. And I'm kind of feeling, I just love this coral. So I think that's what we'll start with. We're going to cut a big piece of it. I will cut the excess off when it's dry. And then we could go on to gild it if we wanted. Let's see, we're cutting this right there. Okay, so this is what we have to start out with. And I'm just gonna set it on paper plate. Oh my gosh, you guys, tomorrow I'm getting my hair cut and colored. Look at that. It's such a disaster. It's driving me crazy. I haven't had a haircut or color in so long. I finally just broke down and said, I can't keep doing this. Anyways, what happens if you don't separate the napkin? It's not gonna mush into the Mod Podge as nice, and it's gonna look more white, like it has more of a white background. Okay, so I'm just applying this all over my oyster shell. Put it on super heavy, and then I'll take it off so it's not super heavy when I put the napkin on. You do want to go all the way out to the edges. Okay. Okay, now comes the hard part. What do I want to be the top and what do I want to be the bottom? I think I want it to look this, I don't know. Nope, I want it to be this way. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly set it on there. And I'm going to use some saran wrap to start gently pressing it into the Mod Podge. And some parts of your napkin are going to have to sort of fold over itself or get, you know, a little smushed together, because this oyster shell is not flat and straight. Okay, so can you see what I'm doing here? I'm just basically pushing it on into the areas that I have Mod Podged. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now we need to think about cutting off most of the edges. Then I'll apply another layer of Mod Podge on it. And then when it's all thoroughly dry, see what I'm gonna cut off, then I will decide if I'm gonna gild it, which I might, if I do gild it, I'll save that and do that with you guys maybe tomorrow. Would you like to do that? It will tend to separate if you leave, plus, yeah. Okay, so somebody asked the question, what if you leave both plies on the napkin? Well, what happens is it does make your project look more white, or whatever color the underneath of the napkin is. And it will kind of tend to separate a little bit. And it's just not gonna look as nice. So I'm roughly cutting around my oyster shell, and I'm holding on to it with the saran wrap. And one thing you can do when it's all dry, if there's still some edges that are bugging you, you can use a piece of sandpaper. And then once you do that, you can, cut this big piece off right here. You can put some more Mod Podge on if you want. Get off there. Now, if I was just handling this with my fingers right now, I would have pulled all of the napkin off. It would be a mess. I know that because I've done that before. And if we are going to gild the edges of it, then it isn't going to matter exactly how neat the edges are if we're going to cover it up with gold leaf. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Isn't that pretty? Next time I do one, I'll have a better idea about how I want to place it. But then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some more Mod Podge on it, and we'll let that dry. And this coat can be a little bit thicker. I've seen people use these bigger shells as a thing to put your soap in, your guest soap in the bathroom. And I think that would be really pretty. I have to investigate how much of a protection you would need to have to do that. If you need to use Mod Podge and then use like a thick matte sealer, or what you would need to do. But I think that would be really cute. So there we go. And we would just let that dry. You love the shells. Heidi, did you make it to Hobby Lobby? No, I didn't. It's too far away. And I'm still nervous to get out too much. I don't know. I'm just a baby. But I am still a little nervous to get out too much. Okay, let's do one more shell and then we'll come back to the candle. Okay? So I need some more saran wrap. If you are neat about this, then you wouldn't need to use so much saran wrap. Or paper plates. Okay, I need napkin to just make sure. So I think I picked these shells up. Aren't they pretty? There were like, it was like a package of 10 of them at my favorite thrift store. It wasn't Goodwill. It was my favorite thrift store in Boise. which I can't, Boise, Idaho, where my mom lives. In February, I think, is when I got them. I can't remember what the name of that store was right this moment, but anyways, if you look around, you can find all kinds of great things. Let's see, could this work? Yeah, I think it could. Let's just do a rough cut around it. Right there. And doing the same thing. I hope this isn't boring for you guys. So, let's see. Let me tell you a couple things. If you like the ideas that we do here at DiyDreaming, I would love it for you to like and follow my page and turn on your notifications so that Facebook tells you when I go live. I would also love to have you join my group, my Facebook group, where we share tons of ideas with other crafters. You know, some of them are like reinterpretations of the projects that I've done. Some of them are just you guys' own stuff, which is amazing. And that group is called Dreamy DIY. And I started it 1 year ago, but I really didn't do anything with it until like a month and a half or 2 months ago, and there's already over 5,000 people that are part of that page, and a lot of them are crafting and sharing their pictures. So it's a good group if you like that kind of thing. And I'd love to have you join. My only things about that group are I would appreciate it if once you join that group, if you don't share other crafters videos there, like Sweet Barb of the Shabby Tree. I love her. I follow her myself, but don't share her videos on Dreamy DIY. And the other thing is I would appreciate it if, I know a lot of you guys have businesses and whatnot, but it kind of hurts my feelings when somebody from another kind of competitor company gets on Dreamy DIY and tries to sell their chalk or whatever. That's kind of a bummer. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that. But otherwise, it's a really fun, uplifting group of crafters, and they're super creative and they have tons of great ideas. I'm just pressing this down now. And they're encouraging, because I don't know if you're like me. So I'm married and I have 2 sons. And what that means is nobody in the house cares about my crafts. Not at all. And so I could be so excited about something and come to them and say, look what I made. And they're going to say, oh yeah, that's great. But, oh darn, I messed up. Well, shoot, we'll fix that. But with this, when you share a picture and everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Where did you get it? How did you do that? You're so creative. That's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. It's just really encouraging. So if you want more crafting, I would love to have you join that group. Okay, I made a flub, obviously. I'm going to show you. Right here, I cut my little piece of napkin too small. So let's see if we can find that. And we'll cut a little piece and we'll just stick it on there. Okay, I think it was just, I don't know if this is right or not. Let's just take a little bit of crab legs, and we'll glue that on there, and we'll never notice. And I didn't even cut that right. Darn. Oh my word. I'm having a hard time. Okay, that's gonna work. And so I just put it in, I put some more Mod Podge on it and I just smush it in there. I think you'll never notice. Okay, so once you get everything kind of pressed in, then we're going to do a quick trim around it to take off the whey excess. And then we'll apply some more of the Mod Podge. And then we'll let it dry and we'll finish up this candle. And then I'll let you guys go because I don't know if this is too much, too long, too much Mod Podging. You don't have to be super precise right now. We're just getting the big pieces off, the big extra pieces, like right here. See that? And I'm still holding on to my shell with my cling wrap, saran wrap, whatever you want to call this. I want to see if I can find a couple places where the napkin sort of had to fold in on itself so I can show you what that will look like. Yeah, I see it right here. Okay, because this was not a straight surface, right here you can see a few places where the napkin just kind of folded in on itself. But that is perfectly fine. That does not matter. Okay, now hold on to it with my saran wrap. Get some more Mod Podge. Coat of this and then we'll leave it to dry. And when these projects are all completely done, I will take pictures and share those in the comments for this page, and then I'll probably also post them on DiyDreaming. And then I'm kind of thinking that it might be fun tomorrow for me to show you some gilding, like some gilded seashells and stuff, and how you could gild these. So maybe that'll be one of the projects that we do tomorrow. I don't know for sure, but would you guys like that? Where do you get the seashell? Well, mine came from a thrift store in Boise, Idaho. You can find seashells at Goodwill all the time if you're getting out and doing that. You can also order them online from Amazon. I don't know if they're expensive that way or not. Or every time you go to the beach, just be on the alert. You're never going to find beautiful ones like this, I don't think. Somebody told me that these scallop, I think these are scallop shells, that you can ask the restaurants maybe in your area that serve scallops if you could come by and pick up some of what's left over, because they just throw that stuff away. Okay, so now I have it on and I'm really just gonna kind of push my ends over a little bit. And that's all there is to it. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, these napkins are amazing. Okay, so let's come back to our candle. I don't suppose this one's gonna work. Nope, it needs some new batteries. But look at this one. Whoops. Look how pretty that is. And you could put a little tie of some kind of natural color or tannish colored jute or something around the tummy if you wanted. Or you could do that thing where that's very coastal looking, where you do a round of jute or rope or something on the bottom. There are a lot of different things that you could do. Okay, but for this one, I will go back and cover the whole thing because this one has been covered the whole thing. Can you see the sheen? And this one, I haven't covered the whole thing. I've only done one little area. So I will go back and get that. But I'm just going to trim off this excess here at the top and at the bottom. If you guys do this project, I would love to see pictures. And I know everybody else over at Dreamy DIY would probably love that too. So, or if you have ideas for what else could we do this technique on? Do you guys have any ideas like that? Hang a few little shells on jute to put around it. That's a great idea. These napkins came from Tuesday morning this week. And my Tuesday morning, there was nobody in there. It was completely quiet. They had a ton of them. So I don't know if people just are not shopping too much right now, and so they have a ton of inventory just kind of sitting there, but that was to my advantage. Okay, I'll make it a little bit nicer. I'll finish up with covering, oops, I'm crooked, covering the whole thing in Mod Podge, and I'll take pictures, and then I do think tomorrow that we will do some gilding on this oyster shell and this big scallop shell. And I wanted to just show you this. This was a project that I did in April of this year, and I just stumbled onto it again, and I reshared it last night. So it's back on my DIY Dreaming page. And this is so beachy and beautiful, and I love this Bless the Lord, Oh My Soul. The gel ink and the stencil for this project all came from Maker Studio, so let me know if you're interested. I'll probably drop a couple of links here and there in the comments. Anyways, I made this using watercolor paper, which was Canson brand, and some ink and a watercolor brush and some water. And it was super easy, and I think it just turned out really fabulous. So if you're interested in that project, you can look for that in my videos. Just scroll back a little bit and you'll see it. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Feel free to sprinkle. Let me know if you have questions. And that's pretty much it. I will be looking for the pictures of the completed projects, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning with more projects and some gilding on seashells that we did today. Okay, thanks so much. See ya.